All statements and opinions expressed by guests of the Adult in the Room podcast are strictly their own and do not necessarily reflect the beliefs or opinions of the host, producers, or advertisers. All interviews are presented in their most complete possible form in the interests of free speech. No statements should be interpreted as financial, legal, or medical advice. Listener and viewer discretion are strongly advised.
It's the Adult in the Room podcast with Victoria Taft. That's me. Dan Sandini is a Daylight Disinfectant. Dan is a marathon runner. He's also a guy who has been in this journalistic space for many, many years. And he's worked with the likes of James O'Keefe. He was inspired, like many of us were, and he worked with Andrew Breitbart. And so, He's paying a special attention to what's going down at the ICE facility in Portland because he knows this very well. Dan, how are you? Thanks for coming on.
Well, Victoria, it's good to be another adult in the room, I guess, today. And I look at what you're saying and how far back we go, back to 2010. It's just been going on and on for forever there in Portland, right? And kind of fun to play the home edition from here in Tampa Bay area. I'm looking out at the beautiful Tampa Bay right now. So
getting the race.
It's kind of fun to play the Antifa home edition. I think, Ryan Amaker has done a great job of breaking down the taxonomy of the Antifa. And I think that police officer you were talking about, I think that's Cop-Tifa. If you look at the taxonomy of how it breaks down, Victoria, I think you've got your Trans-Tifa.
Oh my gosh.
Tifa, and then you've got your Cop-Tifa over here. But he has this hilarious video out there of breaking down the.
That is great. I will go steal that, and I will give him credit, of course,
it's
naturally.
So funny, Victoria.
Oh man.
So funny. It's just a play on what you were talking about. I didn't know what you wanted to talk to me about today, but
I want to talk to you about your help of capturing the guy who threw the rock in Tommy's face.
Oh yeah. So yeah, let's get that story out there.
We got some B-roll here, so let me just do this. Well, actually, it's more than B-roll.
Home. She gives it up whenever I want it.
Yeah, we'll just let it go here. Here's Tommy Boy's. This is a. Come on, buddy. I don't want. Yeah, here we go. So he's just, he's out there. He's annoying Antifa. I mean, that's his job. Apparently, he feels that's his reason for being raison d'etre.
We would have never done the stuff that Tommy does, right? I mean, not in the
absolutely not.
Right? This is a new phenomenon. This sort of. Instigating them, I guess, antagonizing. He's just stating facts. I mean, men are men, you can't change from a man into a woman, and that just sets them up. I really got to love it. It's the most entertaining part, I have to say, is watching Tommy Boy, to be honest with you. I don't agree with his tactics necessarily, but it's funny to watch.
It is funny, but it wasn't funny when that guy put a rock and you just crashed into it. And you will see this is his Tommy Boy's personal video of the event. And later we had Ocean Plot, who actually caught the person doing the act of clunking a softball sized rock in his face. But this also speaks of the fact that the Portland Police Bureau just does nothing. Oh, they deserved it. Really? And Tommy was the one who was cited.
They do worse, Victoria. They do worse. They arrested the guy who got hit in the head with a rock.
Yeah.
They arrested him afterwards, after he got out of the hospital, because beforehand, apparently, he was in an altercation with someone, okay? And who knows who shoved who first, okay? But they arrested him. And, the guy who, let's say, allegedly, right, he's been identified as doing such, of hitting the guy in the head with a softball-sized rock. And if your viewers go back and watch the video from Ocean Plot, who's doing an amazing job down there.
Yeah, he's doing a great job.
Just a great guy, he's just, He's everything that I would ever have wanted to be in a citizen journalist and ever was, I just picked it up as a hobby, but these people are pros, Victoria. That guy could do. He's like NPR when NPR was good, okay? That's Ocean Plot, And you've got all different types down there, right? You've got him, you've got Tommy Boy, but yeah, you've got this Antifa.
Honey Badger
comes up behind a guy, Honey Badger, just a wonderful photographer, so many. It's so interesting to watch the different perspectives, and somebody when it's all over with, in a Breitbart-esque fashion, needs to tell the story of the people that are down there covering this thing right now. I hope that somebody's I'm trying to encourage Ocean Plot to do that, to take a lot of video of the people that are doing the actual citizen journalism down there. But yeah, to get to your guy, I think we really do need to cover this Gabe Lyons guy, because I think, Victoria, I would guess
that's the guy who did it. That's the guy who.
You have to be careful. Okay, it's alleged, and it's fairly clear that it's him on video, and he's tracked down on the max by some of these people. But if you can imagine someone coming from behind someone with a rock as big as your fist and swinging it in a 90-degree arc and hitting somebody in the back of the head, when I saw that, I was like, that's the worst thing I have seen since Strickland, since they broke Strickland's arm in 5 places.
Oh, God, okay? That's right. Oh,
right. Okay, that's the worst thing that I've seen since then. I've had my own hit in the head, and then I've had Strickland getting his arm broken in 5 places, assaulted multiple times, but that's the worst thing that I saw. And then this guy disappears. Okay. Yep. And he's nowhere on the videos. And now what caught me watching these live feeds, Victoria, is like, I'm watching for the guy who swung the piece of concrete or rock and who just seems to have vanished. And then, they ended up identifying who this guy was. He is from out in Sandy, Oregon, charges from going back to 2022. I could look at the list here, but basically SA charges. So that you don't get,
that's all you go.
Don't want anybody to do. Just a terrible person. Okay. And the police just don't seem interested. So as I'm really watching the live feeds, and I was on Kostin, let me get it, see if I can pronounce it right. Savransky. It's K Bowski, at K Bowski. Everybody go out and follow. Okay.
Yeah, I have. Yeah,
he's
thanks
18 years old. And I'm watching his live feed, and I can hear him say, I was kind of away for a bit, and I hear him say, wait, it's the red shoes. You can just hear the wheels turning. It's amazing to watch it on the live feed, and you hear him go, that's the guy. And he goes over and tells the cops, and he's telling the cops, hey, that's the guy who hit one of ours in the head with a rock, and there's the Portland police, the Cop-Tifa, who if you want to imagine the Portland police at one of these events, imagine Stevie Wonder at the keyboard. This is who these cops are. No crimes to be found here.
I mean, it's such a terrible milieu. It is so. I mean, it's just a terrible milieu. It's just like Portland is where justice goes to die.
That's it. Yeah. It's terrible. It's really, well, just, to finish telling the story, Kostin takes off after the guy running, okay? And it goes dark, right? Video goes dark, and we'll link it through the bottom of your video afterwards so people can go back and see his video. But then the next thing he's caught the guy with the cops, okay? And I guess he had his hands on him in one. So can you imagine? This is not me, Victoria. This is not me. Like, I would not be the videographer to go chasing after concrete rock guy, okay? That would not be my bailiwick, okay? All right, let the police do their job. But here's this 18-year-old that goes, chasing after him down the block. I guess it was like, a couple of blocks talking to him, before he caught the guy. Okay. So, and as I started Googling his name, because I was trying to do a story on him, and I'm like, okay, let's find out who this guy is. Okay. Let's find out who Kostin is. I come up with the fact that he came in like in the top dozen in the 200-yard dash at his high school. I'm a runner, so all right. So he can run the 200 in 24 seconds. So that Antifa picked the wrong guy to run from, right? Yeah. He catches him, and the cops arrest him. But as I look at the arrest record, somebody else found it. They got him for four probation violations. That's what they charged him with. Nothing about the rock. So I can only assume that Justice Center is closed now. They have the new courthouse down there, I guess, in downtown Portland. But one can only imagine that he was put right back out on the street, Victoria.
I'm sure he was.
He's in jail.
Big shocker.
Right.
Portland justice, where justice goes to die. So I believe that. I believe that he probably was. Now, you notice that the federal building downtown, if you've seen that recently, it still has apparently steel reinforced coverings over the windows. And because 2020, when Antifa had a spasm of violence in that time period, they had to do that. Now they're going after the ICE facility. And what are they saying to the ICE facility? Oh, no, Portland says, you are in violation of your contract with the city or whomever because you have put plywood over your windows. You have to remove it. Can you imagine that? I mean, there's sick and then there's disgusting.
Right, rather than help these people, they are just scared to death. What's really going on, Victoria? And it's just my own opinion of what's going on down there. Is they are deadly afraid. The Neil Goldschmidt types in downtown Portland of politicians, okay, and Sam Adam types are just deadly afraid that the filing cabinet.
Don't worry, I'm going to run B-roll here.
No, this is great. This is great. Richard's been down there since I think I.
Oh, Richard, I
thought that's who that was. But
no, but I have talked about him on the podcast because he's the older gentleman. Who am I kidding? He's the older man he's really dangerous. I mean, that dude. I mean, he would soon as kill you as look at you. I mean, honestly, he's mean.
Oh, it's a felon. I mean, he spit in the face of a law enforcement officer over at the mall, okay, charged with a felony. So,
That's not all he did. No, we have video of him with the flagpole, she tried to say. The flagpole, and he was doing like this. See, I can hit somebody with it. And we have him I'm sure it was Strickland's video. We have him in a video of doing that. I mean, it's not benign what he does down there. It's not.
No. But why isn't he? People say he's mentally ill. Okay, people say.
I'm sure he's got a few screws loose.
All right, he's got screws loose. Okay, but he's competent enough to know what to choose the right side. Right, he's competent enough to engage in this hateful rhetoric. He's competent enough to hit people on the head with flagpoles.
Sure.
Okay, why isn't this guy locked up? Okay, lock this guy up. He can get mental health treatment in the state pen down in Salem, right? I mean, why are these people offered this wide breadth, okay, of being able to go down and cause all of these problems in front of a federal facility just because they're mentally ill? How long has he been doing this? At least since your original Tea Parties.
Before that. I'd say he was probably,
That's 2011. My video went on Fox in 2011, in April of 2011, when they came down to the Tea Party. So I don't know how long he's been going, but this is a part of the rent-a-mob,
Yeah.
You were talking about the money and what jobs these people have, and it's another reason why the mayor, why Tina Kotek, Keith Wilson, Tina Kotek, why are these people so worried about the feds? And they're being weakened. Okay, they're being. You look at what happened to Nick Sorter in his case. Okay, Sorter, was able to escape that Multnomah County DA But in my opinion, the only reason why was because of pressure from the Department of Justice. That DA does not want the Department of Justice around, okay? And they don't want problems, particularly with a high profile figure like Sorter, okay? So that got dropped immediately, right? But
Yeah.
so there's that pressure coming in from the DOJ, but there's the money pressure, as you were pointing out earlier. Where does the money come from, right? So, you've got Mike Benz, who's been investigating USAID, right? And that all those NGOs out in Portland, right? The money has to have dried up for a number of NGOs that are out there, right? So they can't do the rent-a-mob job that they used to be able to do, like during Occupy, right? So that's weakening it. You've got the federal government pressure and the DOJ and the folks that are down there at the ICE facility, the Department of Homeland Security, right, that are down there. And those politicians must be, well, can you say shitting bricks? Shitting bricks. They are deadly afraid that somebody is going to come in and expose their corrupt paradise down there. So,
Well, I think that what's going to happen, and here's what I think that has been happening ever since Barack Obama went into these agreements with the DOJ and the police departments in multiple cities across the country, including Portland, because there are too many black people, or there was an incident in which a black person died, and it could have been shady or as hell, I don't know, or it could have been benign or what have you. Nevertheless, it happened, and all of a sudden they were involved in a consent decree, and all of these places have still remained in a consent decree with the DOJ. And so, okay, who's in the DOJ now? And the person who's dealing with that? Well, I'll tell you who it is. It's Harmeet Dillon, and she's in charge of the Civil Rights Division. And now she's going to go back. She's already talked about the consent decree, and not to the extent that I am, but she says they're under consent decree. But I can imagine she can go back in there and re-up that in a different form or fashion than that which the Obama administration did. And so I think that they better figure it out. They have got to treat people equally on the street. They have got to say, we don't automatically assume that people who don't like Antifa are fascists. We really have to do that. We have to grow up and figure this out. And they have not done that. And so obviously, and so I think that's what's going to happen. I think that she's going to bring the pain, and I hope she does it toot sweet. I hope she does it very fast.
I hope they're doing the slow twist of the knife, and that it's not just going to go to sleep, after a while. I'd like to keep the pressure going and the interest on it. When I look at somebody like Chandler, who you had on before, I was there. If it were me, if I could fault the Trump administration and, they play 5D chess, okay? I'm playing -1D chess. So, but, I would arrest I checked before we came on here. The Rose City Antifa webpage is still up.
It's still up.
How is that possible, right?
It's still up.
Chandler is running a safe house for these people by any definition, right? Okay.
Absolutely. That's exactly what it is. And if you've got felons, hot and cold running felons going in and out, you are actually giving refuge to felons. How in heaven's name is this not being prosecuted? It is astonishing to me. It's one of the reasons I was very glad that people have gone to. Nick Sorter is the one who first, I think, well, of course, Katie Davis Court is the person who for the very first time showed us where it was. Okay. She is the one, she and Honey Badger told us where it was. And she's the one who blew the whistle. And then when Nick Sorter comes to town, he just goes and confronts him. And other people have had interviews. There was a whole posse of, I guess, conservatives that went there. And I agree that when you're in your live stream that you did that last Wednesday night, and you're going to do again tomorrow night, I agree that the tenor changed when more conservatives began showing up. Now, some of those people are intemperate, ridiculous people who go down and pick fights just for the fun of it. And they are not helpful. Okay. I mean, of course, I'm the old lady, right? Okay. I'm the adult in the room, but that's not helpful. Do you think it's helpful?
No. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of people that are down there causing trouble that shouldn't be down there causing trouble, and something you have to think about, and you probably are thinking about it, but there are any number of infiltrators that will go inside of there from any number of organizations, and you're going to say, okay, Sandini has completely gone off his rocker. Okay?
No,
But
no.
one of the people from 2011, Victoria, that I ran into the ground, I ditched the story after a while because I figured the guy was a good guy. Okay, but I'm watching this guy in with the socialists, the International Socialist Organization, aside from Sanchez and Neil Lowline. I call him Neil Lowlife, who were the two heads down there then. Okay,
I remember those. I remember one of those guys. He's the one who held up a sign going Victoria Daft.
oh yeah, that's
Oh,
right. That's right.
good job, buddy.
What a
You're going to have to go a hell of a lot farther than to insult me than that. But whatever. Keep going. I'm sorry.
You know what? You go ahead. I love it when they do that because it just encourages me more. You know, it just encourages me. It's like, okay, you know, have your little joke. You know, I mean, because I'm going to cause you more problems than you can possibly imagine. But one of these guys, Victoria, when I ran it into the ground, you're saying, okay, Sandini's really going whack job now. Was Mossad. I'm telling you, this guy was Mossad.
Wait, stop. What are you talking about? Where? Okay, when? Where? Again? Portland?
We're down at those tea parties, right? Down in the Pioneer Courthouse Square.
Uh-huh.
Right? Okay. I'll shoot you the blog article and point to
Okay, do it.
afterwards, okay? But I'm like looking at this guy and I'm trying to figure out who he is. And I finally got a name from my one guy who I knew who was having a beer once a week with from Marxists, okay? So, I got a name, okay? And I ran it into the ground. This guy had taken a gun. I guarantee you don't know this story. It's been buried. This guy had taken a gun into Portland State University and taken it apart and put it back together again and gotten arrested for it, okay? And his attorneys, okay, for the case were Kitzhaber's attorneys, the same big law firm downtown. The name escapes me now, okay? But these same people moved in and it was dropped immediately. And I'm like, DAFUQ. That's how I do that. What the hell is going on with this guy? Okay. As I ran it down, he had come up from Los Angeles. And as I ran it down even further, this guy had been Mossad, okay, inside of the Israeli IDF. Okay. Now, what is he doing embedded in the International Socialist Organization, antagonizing a protest up in Portland?
He's working for USAID. No,
I don't know. I
oh my gosh, that's crazy.
Working for Mossad, and none of the people in the socialists knew that, and I wasn't going to be the guy that was going to. I said I had that story all written up, and I said, you know what? He's a good guy. I'm not. I assume.
Oh my gosh,
he's
that's
yelling
so crazy.
Things at me. Okay.
Okay, Dan, we got to wrap it. We got to wrap it because Niels is on, and I just want to make sure I get him on and not waste his time. So,
I'm Daylight Dis. You spell out Daylight Dis 1776 on X. That's the best place to find me these days.
Yep.
And Costin, K Bowski, he's my hero down there now. Anybody that would chase after an Antifa and get the guy arrested, though, I'll carefully watch that case, Victoria. And
that was quite a run he did. Okay, speaking of running, you've got your
yep.
Okay,
so where'd you 22nd full marathon going for an Ironman, Victoria, next winter. That's my goal. I don't know if I'll do it, but finish my 22nd full marathon in Panama. So hopefully all I have to be able to do is do a 2.5 mile swim and a 112-mile bike ride before I do the marathon. So, but an 83-year-old woman did it the other day. So, and I think it's still within the realm of possibilities for me. We'll see.
Dan Sandini, thank you so much, and good luck. Keep me informed on your latest athletic exploits. I appreciate that. Wow, that's amazing. It takes so much mental effort to do that. I admire anyone who can do that and train for it. The training is, the hardest. I remember I was going to do a half marathon, so I thought, okay, I'm gonna go to the track. I'll start there, and then eventually I'll do road work. Okay, well. I said, I've got kids at home and I have a full-time job. What am I doing? I have no time for this. Anyway, so it was kind of interesting.